What's up, guys? Knenga here, bringing you guys the much anticipated Six Samurai deck that I had been promising you for the past, couple weeks. As if you saw my last video, you saw how, in what order that they were going to come in, and of course I did leave off a couple of cards that I decided to tech in as, just some surprise tech for you guys, just to kind of wrap your head around. It's nothing too surprising, really. It's nothing like way out there, and it's just something that kind of just clicked with me that I thought, would be kind of beneficial since this deck special summons so much and has so much fodder. It's just two cards, it may make the difference here and there every once in a while. But anyways, let's get this going. First up, we've got, of course, your staple 3 Legendary 6 Samurai Kizan. Of course, I have the one and only freaking proxy because I'm just too lazy to go and buy another structure deck. But I'll probably go and do that sometime soon. 3 Kizans, bread and butter. They are the backbone, of course. 1800 attack, become 21. You know what they do. Really great. 4-star. And of course, they special summon out of the hand so you can do all kinds of exceeds and synchro summoning as well with your tuners. 2 legendary 6 Samurai Kaigeki, of course. This guy is really awesome. Right now, that Veiler's been, kind of just running around. He's not as potent as he used to be, but he's definitely still really good. Next up, we have 3 Kagmusha of the 6 Samurai, of course. It's your lone 2-star tuner. 2 Elder of the 6 Samurai. Goes hand in hand with your Kagmusha. Gives your asceticisms on it. 2 Grandmaster of the 6 Samurai. Good special summons, and on top of that, since you secret for 5 so much, this guy allows you to exceed for 5 as well, which is always great. 1 Legendary 6 Samurai Inishi. Always great. Bounce those problematic synchros and or exceeds that are really pain in your ass sometimes. 2 Effect Veiler could possibly bump this up to 3. I try to run like 3 Effect Veilers with like a BLS and stuff. More of a liability, wasn't working out too well. 1 copy of Gores as one of the close final monster lineups, and the last 2 monsters in this build. Since you do have 3 asceticisms, you can special summon your Kizans from your hand. Of course, we'll also be running Dojo. I decided to run 2 Caius Shadow Monarch just because they produce so much fodder that these guys can actually go off and hinder your opponent, especially if you scoop up a dark monster. Dealing an extra grand is always great. And this guy just never seems to fail. This guy has so much splash ability in so many decks that I just decided to run it in here. And hasn't failed me yet. This guy is pretty nasty in here. Alright guys, here comes the spells. Next up, we've got our spell lineup. Pretty basic, everything goes hand in hand. 1 reinforcement of the army. 2 Shien's smoke signal. Get your Kagekis and your Kogmushas. Gotta have those. Of course, the freaking this is the gear of the entire deck. You get this off and you pull this off. Gateway of the 6 Samurai. You pretty much have it in the bag. 3 6 Samurai United. Got to have those. Those are definitely staples for the deck. 2 Asceticism of the 6 Samurai. Goes great with your Kogmushas and your Elders. Just get off those 5-star synchros, start going bananas. We've got 2 Shien's Dojo. Gotta have those. Also gets you other 6 Samurais from your deck. 1 Monster Reborn, of course. 1 Darkhold. Pretty much the staples there. 1 Heavy Storm. 1 Book of Moon. And of course, 1 Pot of Avarice. This deck is very, very fast, so you can power through a lot of exceeds and synchros, so it's really good to have this reset button and definitely start over anew and, of course, get all your stuff back. I was also thinking about running Warrior Returning Alive, since that card, just lets you get any warrior from your grave. Doesn't matter, attack level doesn't matter, any warrior. And I was trying to run that with like BLS and stuff like that. You can definitely get BLS back from the grave with Warrior Returning Alive, but I just wasn't able to find room and being able to get other smaller stuff, just really wasn't all that helpful. But that card is definitely worth considering if you build this deck. And I know some of these stuff, most of this stuff is shiny, but you can definitely find all this stuff in common. And pretty much common, like, these are rares. You can get that common. All these, just rares. All of these can come in common. This deck is very, very easy to build. Next, we got the traps. Next, we got our trap lineup. It's a very, very basic choice of trap cards. A little bit of defensive. Since this deck is very aggro, you just pretty much want to go off before your opponent, and kill them off within 7-8 turns or so. That's pretty much what the deck tries to do, and it's been pretty consistent. It's always really, really consistent. Six Samurais definitely can go off very, very fast. So the trap lineup helps to, definitely coax them in that direction. Got one copy of Fiendish Chain, which is always really good. Stops attacks, stops effects, and that's what really, really matters. One Dimensional Prison, if you ever find yourself up against, the ropes, definitely deprison to stop some of their bigger monsters. Of course, we have the Solemn Brigade. Gotta have the Solemn Brigade. Solemn Judgment, 2 copies of Solemn Warning. And finally, last but not least, is pretty much just Final Assault card. If you definitely are able to go off and then rip this off and then, just start this is pretty much like the last nail in your opponent's coffin is, the double-edged sword technique. Definitely really, really great. It pretty much ensures, your victory in most cases, because it definitely lets you go off, pull out another Exceed, get another Synchro Summon in. Always really great. Or you can just flip it for more damage in the end, because either way, you get this off and gets you more monsters, and you can definitely kind of just really hammer down on your opponent. It's that final assault that you really, really need. You can definitely bump this up to maybe 2. 3 is killing it. Very, very good card. Now it's time for our extra deck. Then last but not least, we have our extra deck, of course. Can't have Six Samurais without their superstar legendary Six Samurai Xian. This guy is just nasty. You bring this guy out, and if you can protect him, he's just a pain in the ass to take down. Stopping your opponent's spells and traps is a plus. This guy, killing off other Six Samurais just to keep him around is always great. Once he's summoned, you can always bring him back with a Monster Reborn. This guy is just pretty much all around nasty, and it's well deserved that he's at 1, because if he were at 2 or 3, his deck would definitely be way up there. One Naturia Beast, of course, stop all them spells, which is always great. This deck synchros for 5 very consistently. One Naturia Barkion, of course, syncing for 6. One Kizan and one Kogmusha, not that hard. Let's see, one Driven Daredevil, always great. Just a good little surprise to give your opponent. Super cheap card to buy, always great. One Shockmaster, of course you can definitely make this guy. He's just nasty. Cold Wave, everybody. Take away the spells, take away the traps, monster effects, you've got it. You pretty much name it, he's right there. One Blade Armor Ninja, always gotta have him, of course. That double attacking. Probably bump that up to 2. Up to you. It's up to you. He's not as expensive as he used to be. One Shadow of the Six Samurai Xian. He's just kind of there for marquee value, I guess. This deck does synchro for 5 a lot, and of course you do have your Grandmaster, so you can definitely run Tyrus, Keeper of Genesis, or your Adreus, Keeper of Armageddon. So those are always great viable options. Leviair, the Sea Dragon, of course, you can definitely run this guy. Not hard to make, and of course, take advantage of your opponent's remove and play monsters. One Stardust Dragon, always there, and more likely you could probably just side in your Starlight Road, just in case, if you really don't want to find yourself sinking for this guy that often, you can definitely do it that way. One Black Rose Dragon, always got to have this guy just to kind of nuke the field, start anew. This deck has no problem, getting back to its feet after a nuke. One Mistworm, pretty much your Kageki, Kogmusha, and your Kizan right here, or your Nishi and Kageki and Kogmusha. You can definitely run this, done a lot of different ways. Mistworm's a pain in the ass, always great, and since Trishula's not around, this guy is second best. Gotta love him. I absolutely love that guy. One TG Hyper Librarian, like I said, level 5's no problem. And last but not least, your Ally of Justice Cataster, also falling into that rank. Um, that's pretty much it for the extra deck there, guys. I mean, it's pretty much really basic stuff. Very straightforward. You can probably, bump a couple things up here and there. Maybe take a couple things down. I mean, probably won't benefit too much from him. Or in some cases, the Daredevil. A lot of people don't like him too much. Substitute it for something else. Maybe, I don't know, Gachi. You could definitely put in a Gachi. Or, of course, your Zen mains, which I have yet to put in any of my decks or any of my deck videos since he even came out in the 10, because I'm just a lazy bastard. And I think I actually lost it. I could easily get one for like $2-3 anyways. But anyways, until next time, guys, that's the deck. Make sure like, comment, subscribe. Leave any comments down below. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. I will definitely be giving stuff away if you do follow me on Twitter. I'll be putting up little contests, things like that. Um, it's always great to be able to, really reach out to the community. And until next time, rate, comment, subscribe, and peace, guys. Take it easy.